must be on the table as CARICOM. And I agree with the saying that if you're not on the table, well, you're on the menu. And I mean, our priorities will suffer. I mean, we got to be there to ensure that the special circumstances and unique vulnerabilities of small island states are protected. We need to be there for that. I think we need to be there to ensure that the resources are available to address the scourge of climate change, to build resilience in the Caribbean region. We need to be there to ensure that the resources, we need to be there to ensure that significant mitigation action are taken in line with the 1.5 report. We need to be there to ensure that adaptation efforts are of the level to ensure that we have real activities on that line. You just have to record what happened in this year in the Atlantic hurricane season, where we have these devastating hurricanes taking place in the Caribbean region and the impact on the region as a whole. So we need to be there to be able to work towards this resilience building, to make progress on the issue of loss and damage, to make progress on the issues of technology development and transfer, especially for issues relating to your changing of your energy sector, the reform in the energy sector. So we need to be there to protect all of those gains that we have made so far and to consolidate our actions going forward in terms of climate action for the Caribbean. Resilience is key. Building resilience across the Caribbean and across all small island developing states is a key issue that we need to be working on at the COP. So we got to be on the table or we are on the menu. All of our activities, all of our priorities will be off the table in our WIPA if we are not there to make noise and to fight to ensure that we keep these things center in the negotiation.
At the technical level, we have a challenge with the consistency of representation. Because when you get to the negotiations, one person cannot attend all the negotiating sessions or cover all the topics. In the Paris Agreement Work Program, for example, we have 8 different streams of work. So what tends to happen is that individuals will be assigned 1 or 2. But if an individual comes to the first meeting and then doesn't come to our second meeting, it means that either you have nobody participating in that meeting or you have somebody brand new who doesn't know the issue and has to start from scratch. Because this is a decision here, it is important that we have consistency of representation and participation at all the key meetings for all the key issues. Otherwise, our voices will be lost. So I think the first important thing in terms of how you address it is that countries need to commit the negotiators and support the negotiators in participating in those meetings for which they have been assigned responsibility. That's one. And that responsibility will not only be a national responsibility, it's also a regional responsibility. In fact, as a small island state responsibility, because we negotiate with AOSIS. And the same thing, each country probably has 1 or 2 persons attending. But we have a myriad of issues. Sometimes you have 36 items on the agenda at the COP. So we need people who understand the issues to work on it. The second challenge is our political representation. Our political ministers need to do 2 things. They need to become familiar with the issues that's going to be debated on at the COP. So for example, the Talanoa dialogue issues and outcomes. The decisions are going to be political decisions. What do we do based on all the scientific information that's going to come from the IPCC special report and so on? And therefore, whichever ministers will be going to the COP should begin to prepare themselves in advance, because you cannot just come to the COP, pick up a briefing paper and read some talking points. It doesn't work like that. Because what you have is a dialogue between ministers. And you'll read the talking points and somebody will ask you, but can we consider this? And if you don't understand the issue, you're lost. So the ministers need to do that, that's one. And secondly, they need to begin to participate in the meetings for ministers that they're invited to. Because sometimes you get invitations and we don't turn up. Because that's where you build the rapport, that's where you build the connections, that's where people begin to understand what's important to you. And the only reason why we were able to get the successes we got in Paris is because the St. Lucian minister at the time, who was responsible for sustainable development, made it his duty to participate in those meetings, to learn the issues and so on. To the point that when we got to Paris, he was actually invited to chair one of the working sessions dealing with reduction in emissions, which is one of the reasons why we got the 1.5, because we actually, I'm not saying he was biased, but we had somebody there who understood the issues and was trusted enough to chair, and therefore could, in a sense, direct the discussion. So challenges, participation, consistency, and political representation. These are the key challenges. The technical work, we have people in the region who are good at the technical levels. They could handle it, they could handle the issues, and so on. But the final decisions are not made by the technical people. They're made at the political level. And therefore, that's where we have to put the effort.